Okay, we're taking a final cut here. We still got one little spot that didn't quite get cut, but I think we can just flip that up to the top and nobody will know the difference. It's all about looks. I mean, of course, it's about function too, but in this case, they want it to look good. And I understand. Almost there. Now we'll square up this outside edge here. Pretty easy. We'll take another cut. Okay. Chamfer that outside edge. That's the inside edge. And that side is done. I think we're going to come back and re-chamfer that the other side to dewarm. I got just a little bit of an edge there from not being able to get all the way in. Pretty good. That's a done deal. Now we take it over to the mill and we have to drill, I believe 6 holes in it at certain degrees, and so we'll play with that later on. Next part of this project is drilling these 3 holes in one of those pieces of pipe that I sized down, and the 3 holes have to be at 30 degrees from each other and then across. So we're going to drill 6 holes per pipe, and so let's go over to the mill and work on this. And I already came in, I cheated a little bit. I already came in and did the first piece of pipe, and which, you know, of course takes all the layout, and I probably have spent an hour working all of the angles out and getting this thing so that it would cut correctly, because they're very specific about where they want these holes, and of course they probably don't know really where they want them. They just kind of randomly put them in there. That seems to be the mode of operations. And now I got to find the second piece of pipe. What the heck did I do with it? Seems to be one of the themes. So what the heck did I do with it? Okay, so they wanted a hole in the side, and then every 30 degrees around this side and then around this side. So, you know, how do you do that? Well, the only way to do it is to put it on a rotary table and dial in the 30 degrees. But then, of course, how do you get horizontal or vertical motion over to horizontal motion? It just so happens to turn out that I have a, okay, now what is it called? My mind, it goes blank. Anyhow, 90 degree head that attaches itself to the shaft of the Bridgeport, and it clamps onto the Bridgeport, and it creates a 90 degree turn, and we can run that in there. Now, getting that thing in place, as I said, I'm probably about an hour into the setup here. So, that said, we can just get started. And I believe we're at 90 degrees. 150. So we're going to come back to 120. Nope. We're going to come back to 120, which is right there. Take it to 0. Now the cool part about the rotary table is not only does it have degrees around all the way around the table itself, but it also has minutes, and you could probably even get seconds in there of degrees, so it can be fairly accurate. Put a little oil on that, crank it up, and then we just basically drive the table into the drill bit. Make sure we're all the way down. Make sure we're locked. We're at 120. We're at 0. Ready to go. So just drive the, and notice that I have my loop glasses on. This is 10 power because I have no eyes left. And so when it comes into looking at real close things, I just have to put some pretty heavy-duty gear on in order to see anything. And in this case, I probably wanted to be fairly accurate. But at this point, I don't have to be. I can just kind of relax and run the drill bit. Now, what I've learned with stainless is you really have to be... back up. I've just moved, so somehow I'm not tight enough. Alright, let's try it again. Now anyhow, what I've learned with stainless is the way you get a successful drill is to go really slow. And it's painfully slow, but it does drill without wiping out the drill bit, because any faster than this and the drill bit just burns right out and it's gone and you got to replace it. And turns out I only have one of these drills, so we're going to kind of save it. But it goes in there fairly quickly. I mean, you know, not like it would through mild steel or something like that, but it kind of moves through. You can see it throwing chips. And we'll get this thing to get all the way through in, well, probably about another minute. So basically the entire table is moving towards the head, where the head is totally locked down. Yeah, we're getting there, almost there. Yep, just started punching through on the inside. Now you can see it peeling chips. Pipe is good. And again, it's a slow process. I bought this rotary table, probably about 6 years ago, when we did the sculpture of the atom. And okay, I gotta concentrate for a second. We're going to bring it down to 10, 20, 30 degrees. Right after we did the atom sculpture, which was a pretty fun project, and it pretty much took the entire front area of the shop because it was 11 feet tall, and once it got on the pedestal, I think it was 18 feet. And we had a time constraint on that one too. I think we started it and finished it in 2 weeks. And it was a pretty complicated process. Not the machine work so much, but just the process of getting everything together and welding it and getting it in place and going for it. But it was good. And the proceeds I got from that, we had to deliver it to LA. And put it in position, bolted in, and then of course standing there, I realized that the sculpture itself was a little bit weak. I mean the actual part that was holding the sculpture to the mount. But I had kind of planned on, I thought, it might be a bit weak, so I made this extra little yoke piece that if it was, I was going to weld it in. So the local maintenance guys showed up with their portable welder, and everybody stood around. There must have been 30 people standing around while I'm welding this thing up. But I had my welding chops pretty well honed at that point because I'd been welding for a couple of weeks getting that thing ready, and so I was like really well focused and well able to move toward that direction. And back up. And so I'm sitting there welding this thing together. Okay, I gotta concentrate again. So we're gonna come back 60 degrees. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Boom. There we go. So I'm standing there. The kids are coming out of school, coming out of class. The class bell rings. 1,000 kids walk by, and I have to stop welding while they're there for that 10 minutes. And then as soon as they all go into the classroom, this is for a local high school down there in Tustin. Then I start welding back in again, and I got that thing welded in, and about a half hour, 45 minutes, everybody was happy. I think the maintenance guys were real impressed, and hey, I like impressing maintenance guys because, they know what they're doing. They got the chops down. The principal was impressed by the sculpture. The maintenance guys were impressed by my welding capabilities, which counts a lot for me. So anyhow, on the way home, on eBay, I'd seen this rotary table for like $130, which was like really cheap. It's a 12-inch table. And it just so happened that, and once in a while this will happen on eBay, nobody else was looking. And so I bid on it. and I was ready to bid this thing way up, and nobody else bid, and I got it for 130 bucks. So anyhow, on the way back from Tustin, and by the way, it was in, I can't remember the town, but Glendale or something like that. So on the way back from Tustin, we stopped by there and picked it up. And then I didn't have to pay shipping, which would have been fairly substantial. Okay, we got 3 cut. Now let's spin around. We're going to come back to 300, I believe. 150, yes. Oops. That's right. This thing is so carefully set up that I've got to take one of these hold downs off in order to get it to rotate all the way around. I mean, really, it doesn't look like it, but this one setup pretty much maximizes the capabilities of the Bridgeport. Okay, let's see. I'm going to turn you off for a little while. Okay, so I got to there, and this clamp was over here, holding this down there. So first I had to put that clamp in place to keep everything located just right, and then take this clamp off. Now I can rotate this thing, continue to rotate this thing around, and let's get over to 300 degrees, because I believe that's where we began, was 300 degrees. And take it to 0, and it looks like we're right there. So drop it down, and I have the quill stop set so that drop it down and it sits right at 1/2 inch. All right, I believe we're set to go. Looks good. So at this point we're going to drill 3 more holes. Not exactly an exciting thing, but hey, gets the job done. Maybe I'll save you the boredom. So now that they're drilled, I've got to really get rid of all of the burrs on the inside, and they're pretty substantial, especially with this stainless steel. So and it's pretty simple. Just come in with a button burr here. That pretty much takes care of it. It's not as clean as it could be, but you know, that interior, nobody's going to see that because the other pipe is going to be in there. Now the exterior ones, I'm going to come in and carefully chamfer them. But for now, looking for that second pipe. Oh, there it is. Yes, and I know, I just abused this this little vise here by cramping on it with the back end of a crescent wrench. But you know, it's something I got at a garage sale for probably $2, and it's okay. It's old, it's used, it's not real accurate. It was cheap in the first place, so you know, I can crap on it. And plus, I didn't really tweak it. We missed a little bit on that one. Yeah, there we go. A little bit on that one. Okay, since I found so many on that one, let's go back to this one, make sure I got it good and clean. Yeah, I got that one good and clean. All right, so now we'll just take a little drill. This pretty much can all be done by hand. It's, you know, not that big a deal. At least hopefully. So I just kind of come in. That one isn't working really well. Let's get one that's going to be a little bit more friendly here. These whole ones tend to not shatter so much. And they do a pretty good job. As cheap as they are. And that one's okay. And all we're really doing is cleaning it up so nobody catches their finger on it, cuts themselves when they're putting this hole in, this one hole, one time for the next millennium. All right, that's good for that one. Same on this one. Thing is this sign, it's set up to hold a monitor, so that, you know, it's kind of like the signs in airports and stuff like that. It's set up to hold a monitor, and they're having me build this thing, and literally it's going to be something that could last for, you know, 1,000 years easily without an issue. The problem is that in 10 years technology is going to leap way beyond the monitor issue, and they're going to throw this thing away. So you know, hey, whatever.